Well, good morning. It's about 8 o'clock. Gonna be a nice day. We got kind of chilly last night. Computer says it's 44 degrees right now. Came out before sunup and closed up the hives because it's gonna be an OA morning for them. Figured it was gonna be nice and cool, so they'd all be inside and all tucked up. Turns out they weren't. It was kind of surprising. It means it was probably about 40 degrees last night, 42 degrees last night, and there were bees on the landing boards at the doorways, fanning, pulling air through. Kind of surprised me. They were getting that nice cool draft, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, we got them closed up, and here in a little bit we'll come out and run through them real quick and then let them have their nice day. Probably do these 2 inspections so that the sol stock will be finished off. But so far, they're all looking good. Looks like I need some more tape. All of our wet. But yeah, I'm happy with them. Not happy with that spider web I just walked through. But yep, so that's today's process or project. Yeah, we'll get them their vaporization and get them back opened up so that they can enjoy their morning, because they're not enjoying it right now. So probably won't show you. Yeah, there. They don't like it. Okay, so I got everything all set up down here. I did a thing. I've been mentioning that the tubes, the nozzles on a lot of the vaporizers are some of their weaker points. Some of the manufacturers have addressed it better than others, but I don't remember when. I think it was last fall. I was watching Ian video up in Canada, and they had made hangers and were doing 2 at a time on their pallets. So I made me a hanger. I think that's gonna speed things. I am gonna get a little bit of cooking on my boxes, but that's no big deal. And I just set my brick on it. And, I guess that's more than a brick. But yeah, I think that'll work good. Speed it up, and I don't have to monkey around with the box and all of that. And yeah, so there we go. And safety gear. Do your safety gear. I always like to have some baking soda water on hand. It's nice to be able to dip your hands or anything. Now I just wanted to say and make sure, to mention it. This is how I do it. Not how I recommend anyone else do it. But you might make yourself a little hanger. I think it's gonna work nice. So something to remember when you're storing your oxalic acid, make sure to store it in a drier, more even temperatured place if you can, because if it gets a little bit damp, it clumps up really good. And if a clump falls into your vaporizer pan, it doesn't burn as efficiently as when it's powdered. I was thinking I might get me a second one. I could run a splitter and run two right next to each other, or run run two right next to each other. It'd be stupid to separate them out and do the upper and lower at the same time. There's too much running around. Accident could happen. But yeah, I think the coat hanger is gonna work good. It looks like they're opening up the greenhouses across the street. Yeah, we got kind of cool last night. Time to get the roofs on them and my feeding shims built. Well, I'm not gonna make you watch all this, but I think that's gonna work slick. Well, as I work through this, which I'm about halfway done, maybe a third done, I thought I'd mention kind of what I do and why I do it. You know, and I'm not gonna make recommendations to other people except for like tools and stuff like that, because I'm kind of a tool guy. Comes from being in construction, I think. And but because of cost, so many of the other forms of treatments take a pretty good chunk of change. And being as I'm on disability and I do not have much disposable income, I have to use what's affordable and be as efficient with it as I can. So that's kind of the system I've come up with for me. Now I don't have a whole lot of beekeepers around me either, so I think that has an effect upon my overall mite loads maybe. But in the early spring I do like 3 rounds of OA vape, and then I'll do tests and see if I need to do a 4th, that kind of thing. I think this is my 3rd round, so I'll run my tests then now and see if they need another one, but I really don't think that they do. I haven't seen any of the other indicators of varroa loads, but I'll be right back. I think that's done. Yeah, cost. Even though the tool costs a little bit, and some of the newer, more efficient tools cost a fair bit more, it's pretty efficient cost-wise method to do light end treatments on your bees. So what I'll do is early spring, or as soon as I'm pretty certain a queen is established, I'll give my new starts an OA treatment, and then from that point on I run whitening strips. Yeah, that's what I call them, whitening strips. But basically I run a homemade treatment on them the rest of the time. And like all of you probably know by now, it doesn't do very much for knockdown. You know, I'm sure it has some effect, especially when you couple it with maybe slightly hygienic bees or stuff like that. But so I run that, and then pretty much solid. I make sure that those stay on and give them that little extra boost that they need to maintain their numbers themselves. And then come fall, I'll run a sequence of treatments and that sort of thing. Now sometimes if my numbers are high, last year I had higher numbers, so I actually ran a second late fall sequence, but that's kind of determinant on how effective our standard procedures are. So people have asked me how my overwintering and stuff like that is. I'm still learning it. Last winter I tested about everything I could think of. I went into winter with 10 hives and came out with 4. And honestly, that was doing because I was trying to test and figure everything I could think to test and figure on different configurations and different amounts of food, different amounts of bees. Now, I didn't overtly try to sacrifice any of my bees, and I don't do that, but I did try to learn as much of it as I could, so that after this year's setup and going into winter, I'd hopefully know what I needed to know. When you want to run 20 or 30 hives, losing bunches of bees gets expensive. So I figured last year, man, I gotta learn everything I need to know about winter. And that's when I came up with the shelters and little woolly caterpillar I seen. I forget. Greg Burns was talking about woolly caterpillars and how they predict the winter. I forget what it was. Yeah, so the hanger works pretty good, I think. And if and when I do a deep and a medium or that sort of thing, I can make it longer. Getting most of the way through it. But yeah, I was saying that this is kind of all the first winter that they'll go in. Now I had all of this set up last year, and like I said, I was running my tests, and I think I was stacked 4 deep because of warmth. I don't think I'm going to do that this year. I don't think I need it. I'm going to build my shims, which will shut off most all of my upper venting for winter, but allow the bees to draw air through. It'll end up something kind of like about a 5 or 10% venting so that they can draw, but none of the outside air will just flow through. We're gonna do this. Oh crap, my cup fell over. Oh, good. We're gonna do this treatment. We're gonna finish our inspections. Should have done some washes on those other ones, but like I said, I run 3 rounds and then I do my wash and I find out if I need more. Probably not like how others do it, but it's how I do it. Because I kind of have my routine and I follow my routine, and it doesn't matter if it washes a 0, to be honest. This is what I do, this is how I do it, kind of the wise I do it, and even if there's 0s I do it. So I just kind of figured clean bees is a happy beekeeper as far as I go. Or let's see, how would I put that? I like to keep my bees clean, or at least as clean as I can, affordably. I know there's all sorts of methods and treatments and additives and lines and all of that, and they got dusted pretty good at least. Found an exit. One thing about finding a little tiny exit, it's also where everything's venting. But yeah, hanger works good. I would say it probably cuts a third of the time off because I'm not messing around with the box. And I've kind of figured out how to use it better. I'm going to slide all of my weights back. I set the hanger first and then slide the nozzle in there and try not to burn my boxes. But yeah, I guess working good. Get them ready for winter. I was noticing when I was closing them up, this corner box felt real light. I think that's my overwintered carny. I don't know. It may not be a carny anymore. It may just be bees. But yeah, they've got a little question mark on there. Not too bad if it is. If it is, we will shake them out, divvy up the resources. I could stack them. If there's no queen in there, I could stack them on another one. Run one as a double. I guess that depends on the bees and the amount of food. Stack them on top of my largest. That might not be a bad idea. If that one has gone down and the queen, didn't get replaced or whatever or something, I might take it and put it back over there on top of my largest. We might do that. We will see. I like to be flexible with the plans that I kind of come up with because I've noticed the bees, they don't listen to me. They kind of do their own thing. And I have to keep that in mind. Well, there we go. It does take me about 2 hours. So, what, roughly 20 hives in 2 hours? I think there's actually 18. But I could do 20 hives in 2 hours. Just casual like I do. But all done now. And everybody's, I think it bothers them more being closed up than the OA does. I don't think they care about the OA. I think they just don't like being closed up. I think it makes them fidgety. They say, let me out. Because yeah, they don't even really seem to care. It just gets dusted and they clean themselves up and carry on. Yeah, everybody's doing good. Well, I don't know if everybody's doing good, but I think everybody's... They're all a little bit dusted. Yeah, see, there we go. Out there and help clean each other up. They've been cleaning themselves up for a bit now. But yeah, now we're done. I don't know, what, 10 cents a hive? I don't know what the stuff costs, but it's cheap. Yeah, I think everybody's okay. Yeah, I think maybe if that other colony went dead, I might stack their food on top of this one. Or distribute it out to any of the ones that are lacking. Sometimes I have a hard time telling the difference between zigzagging and figure eighting. Some of those look like they might have been zigzagging, but there's no fighting going on, so I don't know. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.